Even though the objective of the AdeptiCon event was to annihilate your enemies, not every event was destructive. Many seminars and workshops were offered to the craftsfolk who made the pilgrimage as well. Painting, terrain building, conversion, and army development were but a few of the numerous classes made available by the AdeptiCon volunteers, staff, and its associated vendors. Since the dawning of Games Workshop, Juris Johnson has been a stalwart and consistent developer of many of the games and components that Games Workshops provide.
Yeah, I designed the games there. It's great fun.
We had a rare opportunity here to sit and speak with one of the prime conjugators of the GW universe. The following videograph is the final result.
In particular, what we're heading towards is saying that the rulebook and the army books need to be focused quite strongly on playing what we'd call kind of like fairly standard sort of pick-up games. It's like you collect an army, round about 1,500 points a side, maybe 2,000 points for Warhammer, and then you meet an opponent and you put those armies down on a lovely war games table with some nice terrain, and you fight an enjoyable battle, and it's all decided at the end of the 6th turn with the final roll of the dice. That's what we're trying to head towards. Now, I think in the past we've tried to explore what we call the hobby in full splendour, because the hobby's much more than just those things. So instead of trying to do those in the rule books and the army books, what we're planning to do is bring out things which we call expansions. And they're things a bit like Cities of Death. And what they do is they allow people to try different ways of gaming and explore different aspects of the hobby, but in a way that doesn't stop the rule books and the army books fulfilling their purpose of providing those enjoyable pick-up games. Times have changed quite a lot, and over the sort of intervening couple of decades or so, really, plastic miniatures have become an increasingly important part of the Citadel miniatures range. And really, the place that we're getting to now is that we can see a time where really all of the units and models and characters that you need to field an army will be available in plastic. This is a goal that we can see that we will reach in the end. I can't say exactly how long it's going to take, because it really could be a sort of like a 5, 10, even 15-year plan to get to that place. I think one of the things that we've come to appreciate over the years as well is that it's, at its heart, Warhammer and 40k, and Lord of the Rings too for that matter, have a set of armies or races that are really integral to the game. They're part of that core game. So what we really need to do is revisit those armies on a regular basis, and that we must make a commitment to keeping them in the range permanently, because what happens is that people, they start to collect an army, and they love that army, and we don't want them to think that we're just going to leave it or that it'll go away. Now, this has had a couple of kind of like knock-on effects. I mean, it means that we have to think much more carefully about adding in new army lists, variant army lists and new races, because every time we add one of those in, we have to be willing to commit to keeping it permanently available and permanently in the range. So really what we're saying is we're going to be concentrating on the armies that are there, and that if you collect an army, it will not go away. It's going to stay permanently in the range, don't worry, and we'll be revisiting it on as regular a basis as we can. The kind of challenges that I'd see coming along for the industry are really always about constantly introducing new people into these hobbies, making sure that you put them in front of people, and give them an opportunity to participate. I think the other challenge is remembering what it is that you're about. There's a tendency, I mean, particularly when the company that you work for gets bigger and maybe a bit more successful, to start to kind of like forget just how small an industry and a business this really is. And that can lead you off into weird kinds of blind alleys where you forget really what it is that you're doing. And for Games Workshop, it's one of the things that we really tried to focus on recently is that we're a small business. We're about getting people to collect some Citadel miniatures, put some paint on them, and play some fun games with them. And we think that's a great hobby, and that's really it. The archetypal one for that for me was Blood Bowl. Now,